In the last session, I showed you a simple 4-fret exercise, and I really hope you've been working on this, as it's a perfect opportunity to use and practice the ideas and techniques that I've shared with you so far. During the exercise, you've probably noticed that playing down the neck is much harder to do, as it seems more difficult to gain complete control over your fingers. Working on and developing how your two hands coordinate and work together is one of the hardest things to achieve on the bass, and it's essential that the two very different techniques of fretting and plucking grow together. I hope you can see that great fretting hand technique coupled with an inefficient and clumsy plucking hand just isn't a good combination. Take my advice and invest in yourself by developing all aspects of your playing and musicianship along together. Rather than practicing what you can do already, I urge you always to focus and build upon your weaknesses. For example, if you're finding it harder to play our 4-fret exercise down the neck, then take your time and practice only this until it becomes as easy as everything else. If you practice in this way, I guarantee that you'll move forward quicker with the confidence of knowing that you're always addressing your weaknesses. What we're going to do now is expand upon the 4-fret exercise, and in the process introduce you to another technique. I'm going to show you how to play what we call a chromatic scale. In music, we use the word chromatic to describe a series of notes that are a semitone apart. Making use of this new term, our 4-fret exercise can now be thought of as chromatic groups of 4 notes played up and down the fingerboard. So, playing a chromatic scale on the bass is easy. All we'd have to do is play up the fingerboard a fret at a time. Now, we could just go ahead and continuously play up the entire length of the string, fretting every single note in turn, and of course, this would give us the chromatic scale, but I'd like to show you another way of playing it across the fingerboard that'll force you to develop another key technique. This involves moving and playing down across the other strings. To start with, I'm going to show you a descending chromatic scale. So we're going to start on a higher pitch note and descend in pitch as we play through the scale. This time, I'd like you to begin with your little finger on the note of C on the G string, like this. If you're still working on learning the fingerboard, a C is found on the 5th fret. From here, what I want you to do is play a 4-fret descending pattern, starting from the little finger and ending on our index finger. Now, in order to continue the scale from here, we now need to move down across the strings. Every time we move down a string to continue playing the chromatic scale, I want you to just think of starting the descending 4-fret pattern a fret higher each time. So, as we started on the 5th fret of the G string, and we're now moving down onto the D string, this time you want to be starting with your little finger on the 6th fret, like this. From this note, which is an A flat, we can again descend through the 4 frets and onto the next string down, once again remembering to position our little finger a fret higher as we change string. From the 7th fret, which is the note of E, just play down through 4 frets and continue onto the bottom E string like this. The little finger once again starts a fret higher, so we're now on the 8th fret or note of C. Just finish off by playing down the 4 frets, ending on your index finger. From this position, we can then repeat the process in reverse, back across the neck, so we end back up on the note of C on the G string, which is where we just started. Now it's your turn to play along with me. We'll play the exercise as I've just shown you, first descending and then back up in pitch, but this time we'll use the metronome to ensure we keep at a steady tempo. As you play, really get used to how it feels to move your plucking hand across the strings, and again, if possible, please try to use alternate fingers to play each note. Okay, let's give it a go.